According to a report from Statista, Canada welcomed roughly 500,000 new immigrants into the country in 2021 and 2022. Now, just to put this in perspective, in the previous year, Canada welcomed just over 226,000 immigrants, meaning we have effectively doubled the number of newcomers this year over last. Welcome to My Generation. Today, we're discussing immigration and its impact on Canada. What is our responsibility and what are the benefits? And what could we be doing better? We're joined by Madelyn, Anthony, and Chris to talk about this issue a little bit further. Guys, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it.
Nice to be here.
So I have a hot take question for you guys. Do we as Canadians hold a responsibility as citizens in other countries to invite immigrants here? Do we?
Yes.
Why?
Absolutely. It's our culture. It's Canadian culture, immigration.
We're just nice people.
No, not nice people. It's just embedded in our culture. And it's where my grandparents came. They came from a country destroyed by war. They came, they made a life. They had children. Their children had children. They raised a family. They contributed generationally to the economy. And I think it's just part of our culture. It's ingrained in our DNA.
You guys agree with that?
To an extent. I think as long as our country economically is okay, then immigration should be okay.
True. I mean, we've been challenged in the past economically to, but yet we've still invited newcomers into the country. So has it always been a concern like it is today?
I think right now a lot of Canadians look out and they see rising home prices, they see a lack of housing. And so I think that's kind of the concern with immigration today. I think we have to look at it case by case and see how the country is doing as a whole to see if we're ready to take on newcomers. I think that's kind of the point you were making was there's been times where it's been maybe easier or made more sense logically for us to take on newcomers, whereas right now I think a lot of people would argue maybe it doesn't make much sense.
Right. Like to take on the number that we are.
Of new
like
Canadians.
500,000 is a lot. So let me ask you guys this. Why do people move to Canada in the first place? Like, what are some reasons? I mean, obviously refugees is number one, but that's not the only reason.
I think it's a picturesque place. It looks picturesque.
Like BC?
Yeah.
What other reasons? Job opportunity?
Quality of life.
Quality of life.
Better quality of life. More opportunities. And I think the Western world will always just be seen as the beacon. I think
agree.
it's just ingrained in the global DNA. We'll always be seen as the beacon, the place to go to.
I see.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. Now, the mass influx of immigration that we've brought in here in Canada, 500,000, that's a lot. And that's every year. We've doubled it. So can we still maintain that intense level of newcomers coming into the country year over year?
No.
Just flat no.
No.
Why? Why would you say that?
Have you been in an emergency room lately?
No.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Would you say that's a good tell?
I think that is proof that there's pressure on our systems. And I think
Interesting.
that has to do with the influx of people.
So do you think ER rooms are the only thing that are taking a hit right now?
No.
No, there's challenges in housing. I mean, you're going to hear me say I'm pro-immigration, and it's not because it looks good on a resume. It's because that's what I believe in. But I also do understand the times we live in, and the times we live in now is housing is unaffordable. There's massive pressure on our social system, and if you live in the country and you're seeing all this stuff, I'm sure every ordinary Mr. and Mrs. Canadian are going to say, how are we welcoming 500,000 more people in the country when I can't get a family doctor? I can't find affordable housing. And I don't have access to the things that I pay taxes for.
Now, 50% of the immigrants that came to Canada back in 2022, of the 227,000, they were actually coming to Ontario. 50%. What are your thoughts, Chris?
I mean, that's just going to put, like we said before, housing, healthcare, education, all of those systems under a lot of stress. So we have to make sure that we're ready for that with hospital beds, with homes, with more teachers, more classrooms, things
so
like
do we
that.
just spread everybody out, or like they're all coming down to Southern Ontario?
I think it's all dependent on the needs, and I think I'm hoping, what I think we all hope is the people who are pro-immigration that are in the government are doing more of a holistic approach. So if 50% of immigrants are coming to Ontario, yes, we'd love to welcome you. Is there housing for them? Is there jobs for them? Do we have the infrastructure to support it? And I don't think that those are unfair questions to ask.
Maybe not in Southern Ontario, but I would argue to say that Canada does, right? Madelyn.
As a whole, I think our country does, yes. But
So why is everybody coming to Southern Ontario?
well, this is the hub of our entire country. This is where it all happens. Ontario, as annoying as it is sometimes, it's where everybody wants to live for a reason.
Well, we'll be right back. When we come back, how does immigration impact employment here in Canada? I'm excited to continue this conversation further. Let's get into it.
the world, yeah.